The phone thing that Tesla does should have been done by the car industry 15 years ago.
Well, it's an interesting perspective. In the UK, when you go to a dealership, the way you buy a car, like let's say you're buying a Mercedes, the dealership will give you a link. You go online and you pay Mercedes directly. You don't go through the dealership. The only system where it's a thing where you go to a dealership and you basically get ripped off by, or gouged prices is in the United States.
Yeah, I think the entire system of the dealerships in the United States is bogus. We should have been using phones to purchase cars and do the entire purchasing process well before Tesla ever came around.
Whoa. Guess what we're doing today?
You seem pretty excited to tell us.
I'm not very excited because I don't care for this topic. I'm going to be honest. And I don't know much about it. He said I should know about it because I've driven Mercedes that are 20 years old. I don't know much
That's
about
not
it.
what I said.
That's exactly what you said.
I said you've driven Mercedes with the first versions of self-driving.
That's because the Germans were inventing things even long before that. Let's be honest. They invented a UFO.
What?
But you never seen that?
No.
The bell? You never seen? I'm being dead serious. Like from World War II, they had like a bell thing.
Yeah.
The U.S. government seized it.
No, I don't pay attention to that
It's
stuff.
been seen over the New Mexico desert.
But anyways,
I'm sorry about that.
Anyways, that's a topic for another time. What are we talking about today?
So I guess the topic is AI within car integration within the automobile industry.
Yeah, and it's
So-
technically not. We're not just talking about self-driving. It could be in other aspects of the automotive industry. But yeah,
So I guess we'll just start it off by passing it off to the biggest nerd sitting here right now, which is that guy over there. He works in computers or something like that. Yeah. Whatever. Please, Mr. Merrill, enlighten us on your great knowledge of computers and AI. But my name is Evo,
my name is Trent.
And I made
and you're watching Accelerate. Mr. Merrill, thank you for joining us here today in this short notice. Tell us about AI. Just in general, can you please explain to us what AI is, and then also how you believe it's integrating itself within the car world?
Well, it stands for artificial intelligence.
Mr. Merrill, can you please amp up the voice a little bit? You seem kind of asleep over there.
No, I'm not. I don't know what you want me
Seem like you've been smoking from
We need a little enthusiasm. We need the whoa from him over here.
Did you guys smoke meth before coming in today? It's 9 a.m.
It's actually 8:56.
and we're talking about artificial
It's
intelligence.
because me and Trent came
cars.
from excess straight to here.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's artificial intelligence. They put it in everything now.
Gotcha. So the Chat GPT.
Not exactly. It's a little.
They said that isn't that AI?
It is, but that's not the type of AI they're using in cars.
Oh. Well, can you tell us about the kind they're using in cars?
They're just using deep learning networks and things like
State.
that.
DeepSeek?
Yeah, DeepSeek.
So
R1.
what I want to know is personally, what are your guys' thoughts? Because this is kind of with like AI, I guess. Self-driving cars. What are your guys' thoughts on it? Who wants to start?
Listen, I've watched enough Terminator. Okay. I've seen enough Skynet. I don't trust this stuff. I will stick with my 96 Mercedes diesel because that thing will not turn on me. I don't know, man. Listen, I've been obviously in your Tesla. You did self-driving once. I've ridden in other Teslas with self-driving. I've driven, I guess you could say, Mercedes cars with self-driving. I'm not comfortable with it. I don't know. I feel like even you're sitting there, the car's got the cameras and everything, and it's doing it all for you. I'm still like really tensed up because I'm like, dude, what if this thing goes on a fritz and it just like veers off the road? Like, what are you gonna do? You're dead. I mean, I won't die, but
I don't use full self-driving on my car very often.
But then what's the point of paying $10,000 for it?
I didn't pay $10,000 for it. I get it for free every couple months. And there's
But I thought you had to like pay. You either pay a monthly subscription or you like
you just buy
it all
right,
out. Which is like
Tesla
16
gives out the free trial over and over again about every 3 months. You get it for free
for how long?
for about a month. You get 30 days of it for free.
Oh, okay.
Because they're trying to promote it.
But you don't use it?
No, most of the time, if I do use it, it's on auto steer, which is also, there's a lot of technology that goes behind that deals with machine learning and, neural networks and all that crap, which is what AI is. But I don't use it very often. Still, I still drive the car as if I'm driving any other car on the planet because I enjoy driving. And I also, it's not that I don't trust the car, but, I enjoy the driving aspect of it. So even though it has the ability to do it, I just don't.
Personally, I'm not a big fan of the self-driving either. We got the place like kind of near us that where they, you've seen them probably testing these self-driving cars.
Oh yeah, like across the street. Yeah.
Yeah, I was driving down the street and there was one next to me, and I thought he wasn't gonna stop. We were coming to a red light, and he was just going full speed. I was like, "What was this thing doing?" I saw the dude in the driver's seat. He was like slamming on the brakes, and I was like, "Jesus Christ, that dude's gonna die."
It's in every car now. I mean, like I mentioned with Evos, Mercedes, and all that stuff with DISTRONIC, that's early forms of, active machine learning inside of cars. Not to the point where it is today, and it's not nearly as advanced as it is today, but it's early forms of it that allow the car to make moves by themselves without, driver input and stuff like that. And, there's a lot of technology behind it. Of course, there's always failure points. Usually when code is written once and it works, it's always going to work unless something catastrophic happens. But, there's a lot of talented and very high-paid people to make sure that doesn't happen. So
we got somebody falling asleep over here.
Sorry. So basically what I'm learning from this is obviously they're trying to make it autonomous, right? They're trying to make the cars be able to do everything on their own.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, I know obviously all this stuff is fiction that I've mentioned, but isn't there a little bit of like something in somebody's head that's like, dude, what if like it actually becomes like Terminator, where it's like this fucking thing, like, sorry, I shouldn't have cussed, but this thing becomes like self-aware and it starts like going on a rampage.
So going off that Terminator thing, have you guys seen this? It's going to be pulled up on the screen for those of you guys who are watching this on YouTube, but there's this company that are making clones or androids.
Is it Tesla?
No, they look like this.
Looks like the Spider-Man in like the Venom suit.
But these things have a full skeletal system. They have the same amount of bones as a normal human does. They have a nervous system. They've got muscles and everything. But you can technically pre-order them this year, and they're used for your daily tasks. And our thought was, could we see people using those to eventually replace mechanics at dealerships?
Oh, for sure. And you save yourself in labor costs. I mean, think about it. Like a human being can't just pull a motor out of a car without using like a lift or like a cherry picker and stuff like that. I mean, if this thing could just do all of that, if it's built like a human, but it's got like the strength of like a robot.
And these things are technically supposed to be a lot stronger than humans. They're supposed to be able to get stronger too. Like they have muscle fibers and everything.
Yeah, I mean, they could probably even lift a car. You might even have to remove might even take over the job of like a lot of stuff in the shop. Like this thing might be able to do everything itself.
Now, what do you think about it? Do you think it hopefully would make it cheaper to get your car serviced, ideally?
But it would, but it put a lot of people out of jobs. Like my dad's a mechanic.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's going to suck about it. So do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing? Would you rather?
I don't like it. I don't care what we're talking about. I don't care if it's for health reasons or whatnot. I don't.
What's the company that's making those called?
Clone?
Yeah, I don't remember the exact.
Clone?
Yeah, it just says Clone Robotics.
Is it Chinese or is it from here?
Is it Chinese?
No, I'm asking because the Chinese are like advancing in a lot of this stuff. I mean, look at what DeepSeek or whatever it's called. Look at what it did to NVIDIA stock. It tanked to like 20%. By the way, it's not financial advice.
I don't know where they're based out of, but it's a thing that they're going on pre-sale this year. They cost about $20,000 for one.
$20,000?
Which if you're rich, that's nothing. Like,
I'm sorry, Trent, I'm not rich.
Yeah, well, I don't think any of us. We're all a bunch of brokies.
Except for.
Yeah. So, when you buy one, let us know how it works.
I'm not the one who's gonna need one. Evo.
I don't need one of those things.
It's just an interesting topic because then it could start replacing a lot more things besides just mechanics. Like Tesla's already kind of gone this way. You don't need salesmen really. You can just do it through the phone, and you won't need people to deliver your car for you. You won't need a lot of things.
The phone thing that Tesla does should have been done by the car industry 15 years ago.
Well, it's an interesting perspective. In the UK, when you go to a dealership, the way you buy a car, like let's say you're buying a Mercedes, the dealership will give you a link. You go online and you pay Mercedes directly. You don't go through the dealership. The only system where it's a thing where you go to a dealership and you basically get ripped off by, or gouged prices is in the United States.
Yeah, I think the entire system of the dealerships in the United States is bogus. We should have been using phones to purchase cars and do the entire purchasing process well before Tesla ever came around.
Well,
the prob-
Amazon's gonna make you be
the
able
problem
to buy
is
Mondays now.
there's too
Yeah,
many
that's true.
jobs that are connected to the sales positions and finance positions inside of a dealership. So getting rid of those positions would cost thousands and thousands of jobs. And so companies aren't prepared. The franchise companies like Ford and stuff like that aren't prepared to switch to a model.
I don't think these manufacturers are gonna take a hit at all.
No, but the manufacturers
The
would
people who
be
work for the
known for
manufacturers will.
the people who will look at the manufacturers and say, you took away 100,000 jobs, which is not a good look. Tesla could do it because Tesla from the beginning didn't hire salespeople. They have associates that can help you, but
See, I feel like it could go either way because people could be like that. We're like, oh, they don't want to buy from this brand because they took away so many jobs. But I also feel like there's a lot of people who just aren't going to care. I'm like, well, I wasn't working there. I don't care.
I don't think
Right.
most people will care because they're tired of getting ripped off by car dealers.
Yeah. And I mean, eventually, probably the assembly lines are going to get replaced. I mean, they already got robotics helping them build the cars as it is right now.
True, very true. Yeah, it's a really interesting perspective on a lot of things because it's like if you let the AI stuff take over, I mean, it's like it might kill off every job when it comes to manufacturing.
We're gonna
The
end
car
up.
industry.
We're gonna end up like in the movie Ready Player One, where we live our lives through VR.
That's crazy.
Everything is
That's
done for
crazy.
you. Where I don't know how it's gonna work.
I mean, that guy over there I'm looking at right now is probably gonna be able to walk around talking about the amazing Spider-Man
Yeah.
stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I think we
Eye of Agamotto.
we look at the how AI currently is, and you guys have to realize we're nowhere near to where Terminator was because we don't have an AGI yet. We might, and there's a great chance that an artificial general intelligence is being developed and is active, but it's at least not publicly available or publicly known that there's an active AGI out there.
Doesn't
Which
that
is-
scare you, Aiden?
Huh?
Doesn't that scare you?
It scares everybody.
Exactly.
There are companies and government officials that lobby against
This is all
discovery.
This is
of
all Bill
AGI.
Gates' fault.
The only thing I want, like one of these clones for, is it can do tasks for you. I'm gonna have it mine Bitcoin just so I can buy a bunch of cars.
Trent's already thinking of how to get rich.
Exactly. If you're not thinking about how to make money, what are you doing?
Exactly.
But that's exactly what these companies are doing. You know, they're gonna probably eventually switch because it makes them more money. They don't have to pay people.
That's crazy to me. It's just so crazy that you can develop, or this stuff that we used to watch in movies like 20 years ago is like now an actual real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like self-driving cars are a real thing.
Oh, I'm definitely. Yeah, we were just talking about. I'm
Like
definitely
Trent's 1987 Camaro IROC is not
That-
self-driving.
about to catch me in the year like 2060. I'm gonna be driving my gasoline powered car. I'm gonna be the only one at the gas station, the one gas station in like the entire state. So maybe me.
Yeah, I find it hilarious that we still burn coal to make power. And then
What do you mean you find it hilarious? That's how you run the world. And oil.
there's other better methods.
It's like what?
Nuclear.
I thought
That's
they tried
true,
that,
but
didn't
it's true. Nuclear is very clean. The problem with nuclear is the cost of it is very
Yeah, that's
high.
the problem with nuclear is building it is its cost is super high.
But I mean,
But
honestly,
everything
though,
else
how
about
clean it
nuclear is
because once you
better.
turn it on, you don't have to maintain this thing. Like you
For
turn
the
it on,
most part, there's different reactors that require different levels. of
you turn it on
service.
and it kind of just does its own thing for a while. I believe it's a long time actually. But we've also seen what can happen if you don't maintain it. Example,
That's because the
Chernobyl.
Russians were greatly underestimating the dangers of it, and two, it was a massive freak experiment had gone wrong, freak accident. That
Yeah,
has
but you
never
can't put
happened.
nuclear in the hands of ordinary people. Half the people out there today don't take care of. half
No,
their
well,
crap.
my whole point is we're burning coal to make power, yet we have artificial intelligence. It's a dichotomy because we are still using archaic methods of generating electricity, which, by the way, nuclear is coming back now because they're building small modular reactors to power AI data centers. That,
Like this place right here, Switch.
yeah, like companies that, like Switch, I think Microsoft and Google are investing in it mostly. It's mostly the tech companies are investing into small modular reactors because one, they're more efficient when it comes to generating power in the first place. But they generate massive amounts of power, and there's, it's renewable. I know uranium isn't renewable. That's a finite resource, but nuclear fuel is rechargeable. So, it's in the long run, nuclear is the way to go, but it is coming back because these massive tech companies need the power to do it. So they're building these tiny reactor buildings for them.
Interesting. So you're saying that this could potentially be great or it could cause a nuclear meltdown.
It's not going to cause a nuclear meltdown. My entire point is
Don't
that
jinx it.
there are a lot of parts in our society that are slow to innovate. And this is something that's really taken the world by storm in the last 3 years, is this drive for artificial intelligence. And OpenAI has been around since, I think, 2015 or 2016. So it's been a really long time that OpenAI has been around, and I don't think people quite know that. But it's not like this stuff is necessarily super new. The first versions of ChatGPT weren't even available to the public.
Wow.
Like GPT-1 wasn't something the public could just use, and it was heavily, like, just in simple terms, stupid. Not enough data points or anything like that. But when you look at it, when it comes to cars and stuff like that, these auto manufacturers are spending millions of dollars and countless hours training cars for, like, self-driving models and everything like that. I don't think anyone's going to get ran off the road by their self-driving system. I would be more concerned about the car controlling other systems and things that I don't want it to do, or the car not giving me the option to turn off the artificial intelligence factor.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It isn't that it's there, it's that I don't want it to be the only option.
I want there to be options, because for the people who do like driving cars, probably some of the people who watch us, they watch us because they like driving cars, and it would be honestly, it would just suck if you never got that option anymore, especially in new cars.
Yeah, that would suck. Just like only automatic transmissions being allowed in certain vehicles. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, you guys can clearly tell where I stand on all this, and I'm just not a fan. I mean, I've driven cars that have the self-driving stuff, like I said, and I do not trust it. Like, genuinely, I do not trust the system where, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just
Speaking of the self-driving, sorry to cut you off. I was watching this YouTuber the other day. They were vlogging the entire time, not even paying attention to the road. They're trusting their car to self-drive. I'm like, you're insane for having that much trust in your car right now.
What about that one guy that had the McLaren that crashed it? That famous live streamer YouTuber guy. You know what I'm talking about? It's the middle of a rainstorm, and he's like he's vlogging and just crashes the McLaren. Yeah, no, that has nothing to do with this, but that's crazy. That's
like,
crazy.
You're insane for just trusting your car. It's newish. And would you trust your car to just drive you if you were vlogging, not paying attention?
No.
I think one thing we can answer, though, when it comes to this is, do you guys think this is going to help in the world of reducing driving under the influence? Because think about it this way. I mean, imagine you're at XS Club, you're hanging out with Evo Maltrov, you're like destroyed, right? You've had like 6 adioses and like a bunch of tequila sodas, and you're gone.
It sounds like a personal experience you're telling us about.
I'm gonna tell
right.
I'm gonna tell my car to take me to the hospital first.
Right, and then you don't know how to access Uber on your phone because you're just cooked.
Yeah.
But you do know where your car keys are, and you hop in your car, and instead of obviously you driving and potentially endangering everybody on the road, the car drives you home.
Yeah, you could do that now, as long as you have.
Right, but what happens if you get pulled over? Is that still considered a DUI?
Yeah, you're still driving the car, but you shouldn't get. Don't do that. By the way, that's
no,
a
I'm saying
stupid thing to
obviously
do,
it's illegal to drive under the influence. I'm just saying it's an
But
interesting.
if you're
point.
not technically driving,
But if you're not driving, there's no reason you should.
What if I'm
get
sitting in
pulled
the
over.
back seat?
Nah, I mean that's a completely different situation. That
I
cars
think that's
can't do.
another issue right there, though, because there's just not, in case something malfunctions, that's what I think it's gonna happen. In case something malfunctions in the car, they need to have.
I mean, in San Francisco right now, they have those Jaguars that have been converted to completely self-driverless cars.
I've seen that.
And they get broken into and trashed all the time by people.
There was a guy gooning in one of them.
That's
Thanks,
another thing.
though.
You just can't trust people with fucking cars.
Especially in cities like Chicago, New York, LA, San Francisco, major cities, yeah.
Major cities in the United States.
You can't trust people. I mean, the homeless are going to figure out no one's ever in them, and the heaters are on.
Free
so I'm gonna
shelter.
break into it, yeah.
Well, you either listen when it comes to the car companies, you either decide to innovate or you're going to get left behind. That's kind of what happened to Nissan, and they're doing terrible.
I heard that the whole thing with Honda broke.
Yeah, the Honda deal broke apart and everything. I don't remember why, but
So they're cooked.
if you fail to innovate, and this goes throughout every facet with life and everything, if you don't learn how to use AI, you're going to be replaced by it.
Really?
That's how I feel. If you don't learn how to leverage AI and stuff, you're going to get replaced by it. And we're already replacing people with it.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But, I think this is a good point to end it on. right there to kind of call it quits on that, because I don't know much about the topic, but for me it's so new. I don't trust it. Honestly, I do not trust this. I don't think, honestly, and this is gonna, maybe I'm taking a leap saying this, I don't think I'm ever gonna trust this my whole life. I don't care how far advanced we get. There's just something weird about a machine driving me around that I have no control over.
Yeah, I feel like it's a hard thing to trust something like that because
It's your life.
yeah, it's different than trusting people
Right.
for sure.
Right, exactly. But yeah, let us know down below. What do you guys think about AI in cars, AI in the automotive industry, AI in the world? Are we going to get destroyed by Skynet and Terminators, by the T-1000? Or are we all just going to live like San Francisco and be able to break into random Jaguars and just stay in the back of them because it's cold outside? Let us know down below what you guys think.
All right. We'll see you guys in the next one.